We didn't practice yet today, and we're meeting today because I wasn't able to meet yesterday, I think. And so I'll let you guys ask any questions you want.
How close are you to getting the offensive line settled, I guess, for this first game, or getting that 5?
I think this next scrimmage will help us define that. I mean, we need to name a starting 5 here pretty soon and get them working together as long as we can. But we have been mixing and matching a lot of open competition. It hadn't been all bad. I mean, there's some years you're desperate to find 5 that can play at all, and we think there's a possibility of having, more like 8 or 9 guys, maybe even 10. So we're competing with guys that we think can play, I guess, is what we're saying. We're not just trying to see if there's 5 that can do it. It's a good problem right now, but I would say by the end of the scrimmage, we'd have a pretty good idea of what we need to do.
You could play as many as 9 or 10?
Well, I think there's probably 8, 9 that could get in the game and compete SEC level football and play winning football for us. So, yeah, I think we got a pretty good. There's a couple young guys. The 2 guys that are young that are closest to being ready is Wynn and Sims. Not to say they'll be starters, but they've shown enough to make us think that they can help us this year as well.
What about Watts Dantzler? It seems like he's working a lot of right tackle after working.
Yeah, Watts is one of those guys. He's gotten some reps with the ones, and he's had some opportunity to prove he's ready to go. He's had good days and bad days, like a lot of them. I don't know if anybody's been truly consistent the whole way through, but it's a lot of practices. It's a lot of days, so you can't expect one guy to be perfect every day. But he's certainly he's in the mix. He's one of the guys in the mix.
Who's emerging at the quarterback spot opposite Damian and also at the star position?
Well, the corners that we're working, and we've got so many working parts there too. It's just been that's very similar to the offensive line. Jeremy's really put just about everybody out there. Rico has been playing some. Bowman has had a lot of reps there. I almost need my depth chart in front of me. As far as the nickel's concerned, we've been mostly getting J.J. Green and Malcolm Parrish. Swan knows how to play that position. We'll probably train Mauger there a little bit as well. Shadow Fenteg back to corner, getting a lot of reps out there.
Is Shadow up to full speed since his old?
Shadow's moved. Yeah, Shadow's got no limitations right now.
Anybody at safety standing out?
Well, we're Dominique Sanders is getting work again there, back there. Aaron's back there. Aaron Davis is back there. Of course, Corey is back there. Mauger also has been, working back there as well. So you're just trying to find the best combination right now still. Jeremy likes to teach things in concepts, so, he likes for all of them to know what everybody else is doing and even have some functionality, not just knowledge, but the ability to do it. So he's been rolling them around pretty good. It's not a settled situation at all, I don't think.
How much can you tell from, like you said, Coach Brewer teaching in concepts, how much the guys, pick that kind of thing up quicker, and why is that,
Yeah.
you think, more beneficial to this particular group?
Well, it's more beneficial when you're, every once in a while you might go into a dime package, which is, a 6 DB. So all of a sudden one of those DBs is lining up more like in a linebacker spot. But if he understands the concepts of what what his responsibility is, what that linebacker's responsibility is in coverage, then all of a sudden if he plugs in, it's not that foreign to him. So, but what happens when you teach things in concepts, if you do have some injuries and you do have to move some guys around, they'll have a better chance of plugging in and playing it.
You mentioned a lot of newcomers among those defensive backs. I guess you guys knew that they'd be thrown in there like that by necessity. How do you feel about your comfort level?
Yeah. Well, I think the guys are competing well. I think they're learning good technique. They're getting better at their technique. Matter of fact, I thought yesterday afternoon was the best practice, or yesterday evening was probably the best defensive practice of the camp. A lot of good pressure by the front seven and some good coverage throughout most of practice. It was I thought the defense, I think they're making good progress right now.
Is it hard to get a read right now on what you have in the receiving core with so many people limited in action?
It is. It is, but even at that position, we're getting more and more guys back, ready to go. The good news is a good majority of those guys have had opportunity. The new ones, the true freshmen, they're guys that are still learning and all. But I think we have enough in the fold that have experience that we have a pretty good idea. They know what to do, and when the time comes, they'll be ready.
Mark, what's the plan moving forward at fullback? I know you moved guys from defense over.
Right. We're training Dietrich there and Dietrich Dukes, and we're training Payne there. And quite frankly, just watching the little bit that we've done the last couple of days, I think they fit the job description. It's just going to be a matter of learning it and getting a comfort level. But Maxie's there, and Faulkner's been working there too. Maxie's had a lot of reps at that position, knows what to do. If need be, Quavon can do it as well.
What about Quavon? Is it a matter of you don't want to kind of stunt his progress at
Right.
tight end, H-back, so you don't want to move him to fullback?
Right. I don't think we're going to move fullback, Quavon back to fullback right now anyway. But him being in there as a tight end, he can easily, shift to a fullback position and know what to do. He's maintained a lot of that knowledge of what the fullback position's about, and so we think he can still play some fullback snaps without changing rooms and changing his coach.
Getting back to Dietrich just a little bit, was there a little bit of concern of moving him because those inside back, there's not a lot of depth there either?
There was, but the guys that were banged up, we knew would be back in a relatively short amount of time, and the thing about this entire staff is we do want to make the best moves. It's the moves that are best for Georgia, and so if Dietrich has a chance to play a lot or even start possibly as a fullback, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if he has the chance to get a lot of playing time or more playing time as a fullback than he can as a linebacker right now, then let's get him in position to do that. I think the same thing happened with Rico. I mean, Rico we think is a really tremendous wide receiver prospect and probably develop into a really good one day, but the need at the cornerback position and his experience at playing cornerback in the past, we felt like it was probably a quicker path for him to become relevant as far as playing and snaps. So we made that move because we think he can help us win. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Settled on kick returner yet?
No, not yet. We're going to have we are scrimmaging tomorrow night, and we're going to have a kicking scrimmage basically Saturday night. So that'll probably help us.
At kicker, and they all have Ham in here. Is Morgan still the kickoff guy, or is?
Yeah, Morgan's the kickoff guy, extra point field goal guy. He's doing an excellent job. But I will say Ham has done a nice job. Ham's got ability, and he's definitely our number 2 kickoff guy and extra point field goal guy.
What have you seen from Colin Barber this camp, and what do you expect from him if you have
Right.
to?
Well, the operation time is a big deal. And when I mean that, the snap to the catch to the kick, there's a certain time you're looking for, and if you're too slow in your operation time, it doesn't matter how good you block, you're probably going to be vulnerable to having your punts blocked. And I would say that Colin and Adam both have done a tremendous job of getting their times down to where they're very quick, almost 2-step punting instead of 3-step punting. And but both of them have punted well. When Colin hits his best ball, we're talking 45 to 50 yards with some 5-0 hang times. I mean, he can really boom it. And Erickson, when he hits his best ball, he's more like a 45-yarder, 40 to 45 and a 4-5 hang time, which, those hang times, as they correlate to the yardage that they're kicking them, is good. We can cover those kicks. So whether or not we're bombing it a little bit further down the road or not quite as far, I think both guys can get it off on time, can get it up, and get where we can get some coverage under it and get a lot of fair catches. So and it's going to be a matter of who can do what they do best, most consistently. We've had Adam doing pooch punts in the past, and Adam still is very good at that. And this is something that Colin's worked on pretty hard in the offseason too. So he's working hard to try to be that guy as well. But I'd say if it was today, I haven't talked to Coach Lilly, but I'd vote for Adam to be the pooch guy, continue to be that guy, that end-over-end kick, that we try to, knock it inside the 10.
And Colin would do the other one?
Colin, well, I don't know about that. Colin's, he's the number 1 guy right now, but they're still competing in my mind. They're both competing for that job. Both are doing very well.
On D-line, are you expecting Chris Mays and Gallagher back anytime soon?
Relatively soon. I don't know if it'll be as quick as tomorrow night. There's a chance for Chris. Maybe there's a chance for both. Tomorrow night, we'll see. We'll know more about Chris after today. And Gallagher, he could any day be fine.
We see the receivers and the numbers of guys in green jerseys, but a lot of them are also dressed out and they're doing some things.
Yeah.
Are these guys scrimmaging, or is it kind of case by case?
Well, that's a good question. There'll probably be, I'd say the majority of those guys that are in green will end up scrimmaging.
Anything else?
Is there, on Malcolm, I know he hasn't been out there that we've
Right.
seen. Is there any movement, any chance still of the Clemson game, or is it too?
I don't know. I'd just soon not get into that. Okay, gang.
Thanks.
Yep.